Hey, guys and dolls, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about intimacy tonight. Um, First of all, ladies, I want you to know everyone is just as broken as you are. And yet, you know, from especially our faith, really puts down women a lot and doesn't have much good to say about women at all. I know that toll that's had on you, and I'm so sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? You've got a long way to go probably to open yourself up to get what you want and what you need out of a relationship. Because that perfect guy who knows already everything that you're going through, guess what? There aren't any yet. Because they're men. But you gotta understand, ladies, they're going through it too. By circumcision, that put in their heart really deep, whether they know it or not, this feeling that something is wrong with them, that they're not adequate. And the being cut makes them fly wild in the wind anyway. And so that's robbing them so very much. And it's robbing you too. All right? So I want you to know where that's coming from for them. And they need to know that. I mean, it's not their fault. Now, a good way to go about the intimacy in a relationship is slow. And you know what? He may be embarrassed and say, "Oops, I won the race again." And you may not get there, but you got to remember, okay, that's not his fault. It's not his fault that he can't last long enough to get you to that point. Now, you got to understand, you've got to learn yourself too, by the way. You know there's more to you than your clit. That definitely needs attention. But your identity is you don't have a sex. You have an identity. You have a soul. A soul means one. Every part of you is a part of your soul. Your soul is very important. And if you go through this whole unsatisfied but aren't saying anything or aren't reaching the place of moving forward together, that you're both healing together, because guess what? You're both hurt. Men and women alike are very much broken by the faiths of this day and age. I mean, very much. And it speaks about, um, let's see, a woman, damning the man with his eyes and making him lust with her, making him lust with her eyes. No, but it's very much down on women. And, though the woman is the one who ate the fruit in the garden, she did it, and then turn around and, well, the guys have to be cut. Well, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When you were born, you are perfect in every way. No matter your color or your size or your weight, absolutely perfect. Now, when they go to cutting parts of individuals away, well, that's part of their soul that's gone, isn't it? You understand? So therefore, deep within them, whether they know it or not, they may ask themselves, what's wrong with me? Just like you do. Just like you do. And the fact that they have to finish the race, so to speak, of being intimate together. I've heard that a lot. Oops, I finished the race. Well, they can't help it. So there are measures you can take if you're with a man who's circumcised, and you're in this country. Yep, you definitely are. All right. So here's some things we can do to deal with that. First of all, you and him need to come to an understanding. You both need to know there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do this to you. What that did was to pull you apart, to pull couples, to pull the intimacy away. It's an attack on a very sacred and special place. You know, the word power, pa is as of the is actually, I don't know why it's not a pile instead of soul, but pa is of the breath, the resp, and that's really the the only place that is actually affiliated originally in the body, and you only have one pa in your body. Do you want something else in your body breathing along with you? Not being pregnant, of course. Pa, hour. What does that tell you? Resp. I could just say resp, hour resp. Well, who's going to be in there breathing with you? Do you understand? The control, the conviction, the belittlement, the bullshit of having to cut, the male son to what? Go to heaven when you die? Well, you know what? I'm not going to get on that subject right now. I'm just going to stick with the intimacy. So, you need to know there's nothing wrong with you. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with him. But that feeling that's why. I promise that's why. Now, to deal with that, there are a lot of different ways you can deal with that, but the main and the biggest one is to talk. Because ladies, they don't understand why they feel that way. They don't know yet. And I think it would be best for the ladies to understand first. Because, that's a big deal, okay? That's a huge fucking deal. Like, your baby's born, and they decide to cut away part of the baby's soul. And it's a big deal, isn't it? It is. So, that baby is going to grow up, hearing all these rules and convictions and how good God is, and wondering what was wrong with me that you had to do that to me. What would have happened if you didn't? That's what I would ask. So, nothing bad. And if you're pregnant or intend to have children, I hope that you'll consider I hope that you'll consider ending the massacre of the souls of the ones we love. Because when you go through all your life and I feel like somebody's supposed to tell me something, is something wrong with, what's wrong with me? Well, that's not their fault. But you see, they're very sensitive. Well, that was their clothing. That was their cover. That was their cover so that they're not so sensitive, so that a breeze doesn't set them off, or, so that they could, together go along, go the distance with you in bed, in that way. Well, that was taken away from you both. And that's, so that's going to be really deep in his heart. And he may not even know why. Just like you may not know why you feel like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why do you have to, why do you, what's wrong with you? Well, doesn't he love you? Because I know that that's the first thoughts of a woman when she's with a man. And every man I've been with has been just like that. And, they can't go the distance. They just can't. Because their cover, their clothing, was taken away from them. And they're left naked. And you can't put that back on there. You understand? And then the same prick turn around and say, "You're dirty, cover yourself, you're naked, you must be covered, you're inappropriately dressed." But you took our natural clothing away. Like, what the fuck, right? Alright, so, definitely talk to your guy about that. And everyone just really needs to understand that. Like, when love is used as a weapon, all kinds of bad things happen. And so the first thought to a woman after a while, of, "Oh, he won the race again." He'll say like, "Oop, I won the race," or, "Oops, sorry," and leave it at that. Well, I admit I'm guilty of, in the past, like with my husband, of not, well, actually I did say, I said, "Honey, we have toys." I said, "We have a toy. We have a tool for that. And you have your hand as well as your mouth. There's no excuse for you to, oh, oops, sorry, and roll over and we're done." Because to do that, I understand, like, you may be ashamed or disappointed, but I'm important too. So after a while, to a woman, that's saying, "I don't love you. I don't care if you get to be pleasured, get to take such pleasure in me as I do in you." That's like to say, I don't care about you. I don't care if you get to have the same pleasures that I do. And that's a lot to say. Even though not a word of that is said, that's the message sent when that happens. And that's a big deal too. Next. So definitely be honest with each other. And the cheating, well, they're more prone to, well, first of all, for women who cheat, that's why. That's why that happens. Because after so long of, "Oops, I won the race. Well, I hate that happened to you. Good night. I love you. Good job. Thanks. What about me? Don't you see me? Don't you hear me? Don't you want me to get there with you? Don't you, I mean, I'm all worked up and boom, you're done. You're done. That's it." And so after a while of feeling like he really doesn't love me, he really doesn't care, it seems if I'm satisfied or not, like, there's no excuse. There's hands, there's tongue, there's object tools. I mean, come on now. You can't give me 20 minutes because at all in life, there is nothing more sacred than our presence. It's not a gift. Our presence, our time. Because there is no relationship that is not an investment. Every stranger you meet, that's an investment. Every night, every conversation with your love, if you're lucky enough to have one, that's an investment. Like, you don't want to do that for no reason, do you? And it's really important to try and put ourselves in one another's shoes. So, ladies, don't you dare go cheat on him. If you're a cheater, lay it down. Because I've got news for you. No one in that you're ever going to meet in this nation, especially in this damn nation, is going to be any different in that way. And so if you're thinking, "Well, he doesn't love me because," nope, you need to reach his heart. Like, don't, not in an angry way, but first let him know, this is where I'm coming from. I feel like you don't love